What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. So we got some sad and unfortunate news right now. Alexander Usyk has leaked to us that he has indeed decided to relinquish his belt, to give it to the world's leading bodybuilders. These are his words. Anyway, let's get to the bars from Usyk.
Hi everybody, people. Anthony and Daniel, listen. I know IBF title important to you. Tell it my present to you on September 21. Guys, слава Богу за все, слава Україні.
So Usyk's saying there that the IBF belt is important to Dubois and AJ, and he's gifting it to them. And that is all. I don't want to say this before I get into the body of the rant I'm fixing to go on. Ultimately, when you are, I'm not a father, yeah, but I can imagine when you're a father like Usyk is to Anthony, Sonua, and Daniel, son boys, yeah? Daniel, son boys, and Anthony, Sonua. When you are people, yeah? The apple don't fall far from the tree, do you understand? And Usyk is the tree of boxing life in the heavyweight division. Not the way I would have foreseen it, but that is the situation we find ourselves in. So it's a bit like some fathers will go hungry so their kids can eat. Yeah? That's what Usyk's saying here. I understand this belt that you haven't earned in the ring, that I took from you both twice AJ, and once Dubois. In fact, I stopped Dubois' ass, made him quit. The very belt that I made you quit for, taking off your ass, I'm fixing to give it back to you. Because that is a father's role. Yeah? It's not all about the self anymore. And these children, they need that. You heard the way AJ and Team AJ have been fiending for his belt. Oh, we need it. Yeah? Team AJ have been fiending for a belt they lost twice. And haven't done a lick of nothing to deserve it. I'm going to call a spade a spade. You beat a mixed martial arts fighter. And you beat a top 20 rank. Wallin, stop talking about Wallin. I'm sick of hearing about Wallin. Wallin ain't got no names on the resume. Wallin don't even have like the mid names like Carlos Takam. He don't even have them names on his resume. He has no one on there. Or he doesn't even have Chisora on there. He has no one. Yeah, so forget about Wallin. Wallin's known for losing to Tyson Fury in a somewhat close fight. Yeah, because of a cut. So I'm not impressed here. Now, whilst I respect Alexander Usyk's paternal pursuit here, I respect paternally he's trying to raise his children, Anthony Sonua and Daniel Sonois. Yeah? He's trying to raise them into being better men. He understands that in the short term, it might not make sense for him to give his belt that he whooped their ass for twice. But in the long run, guess what? He can pass them the belt and then take it back. It's like one of them ones there. Yeah? You can have this toy for a bit, I'm taking it back. It's not yours. See that one there? Yeah? You are my son. I'll give you something to hold for a few minutes, for a few weeks or months, and I'll come take it back off your ass. What's that saying? Is there a biblical saying? The Lord, something along the lines of the Lord shall provide, but he can also, one of them ones. Yeah? He can give, but he can also take. In the same breath the Lord giveth, he'll taketh. It's one of them ones, one of them spiritual kind of gods of war ones. Yeah? Today I'll bless you with this belt. And in 6 months, 9 months time, I'll bless your ass with a whooping and take it back. That's the vibe I'm getting from this one. Because you too corny. Tell you a lie. I'm not so much airing out Dubois. Dubois already said. And when you look at the Dubois equation of things, yeah, Dubois is managed by Frank Warren. And Frank Warren didn't want Tyson Fury not to be able to fight for the Undisputed again. So I don't believe there was any pulling really from Team Dubois. Yeah, for this belt. Publicly, I didn't hear them demanding it. Logically, it doesn't make sense for Frank Warren. Still, Tyson Fury versus Usyk for Undisputed is still miles bigger than AJ versus Dubois for an IBF belt. The net weight would always be on the Undisputed fight rematch in December, being where the belts need to be. So there was no weight from Dubois' side. This was all Team AJ. And this ain't even conspiratorial. Team AJ been telling your asses, we ain't fighting Dubois unless we steal the man who beat our ass twice for it. Yeah? The very man. Usyk just beat this guy, Dubois. Just beat AJ twice. And he taking his belt. Taking his belt. Unbelievable. Now what I will say is on the kind of note I mentioned about there being no weight from Team Dubois to strip Usyk, because obviously Dubois probably wanted the belt, but then again I didn't hear that from him, all due respect. I didn't hear from him, I want Usyk's belt. Now I don't know whether that's a ideological position like me who believes, hey man, the guy just beat me 9 months ago. There's no way I can... The guy who beat me 9 months ago has then gone on to beat Tyson Fury, who's the #1 heavyweight. There's no way ideologically, based on the Warrior Code, no Warrior can take that belt. Email champion. And I hate to say it, I've just watched the press conference that started now for the AJ versus Dubois Wembley card, and they're calling Dubois the IBF champion. So it's just nuts, people. It's nuts. For me, this was the final straw. Yeah, the fact that IBF haven't stripped Canelo after 2-3 years. The fact that IBF stripped Terence Crawford. The fact that IBF have just stripped or forced Usyk into position. Let's not make out that Usyk wanted this, really. Don't get me wrong. Ultimately, Usyk's paternal instincts to his sons came top of the pile. If the IBF had said to him, hey man, we're not going to strip you of your belt that you've worked for the last 5, 10, 15 years, he'd have been keeping his belts. Yeah? He was forced into this position. And I've had enough now. I've had enough. Get rid of these belts. The Saudi cats, you man are wasting money anyway. I said this when DAZN got into the game. When DAZN got into the game, I said, DAZN need to make their own belt. If you're going to throw 200, 400, $1 billion behind boxing, you might as well create your own organisation. Look at Ring Magazine. People, Oscar De La Hoya is broadly perceived to be one of the most messy individuals. He's the owner. He's the guy who set up Ring Magazine. So look how most people now, Ring Magazine is where you go to see who #1 is. So if Oscar De La Sniffer can set up an organisation and get it respect, it takes time, of course. But you best believe the Saudis could do something similar. Make a Ring Magazine belt equivalent and get rid of these, F them off, and tell fighters, listen, we're going to pay you obscene amounts of money, but you're only going to represent our belt. Let's kill them off now. The WBC's corrupt. The IBF are goofy. I don't mind the IBF forcing people to fight when it makes sense. Like Canelo, he should have been forced to fight Benavidez or the other Cuban dude. That's what should have been happened. But Terence Crawford and Usyk, two guys who just went undisputed in higher weight classes, being stripped. Usyk's literally been stripped within 6 weeks by men he's already beat. This is unbelievable. That makes no sense. There's not one boxing fan, apart from probably Skins, apart from AKA Skins. AJ's down low allegedly. Yeah? Apart from AKA Skins, no one else wants AJ to have that moody belt. And I hope genuinely now, logically, I still back AJ to beat Dubois. I think there's too many technical holes in AJ's game. However, Dubois on a run now. Dubois has legitimate momentum. Dubois has come back from adversity to a lesser extent in the Jarrell Miller fight, but to a more so extent in the Hrgovic fight. I thought Dubois was fixing to quit against Hrgovic. Them first few rounds, I thought, oh no, it's a matter of time now. Even Hrgovic believed that. So Dubois has proved what AJ hasn't. Dubois has proved on 1.5 occasions, half against Jarrell Miller and 1 time against Hrgovic, that he can actually come back from getting hit by top 5 in the world heavyweights and come back and rise to the top of the cream. Yeah, AJ has not proven that. AJ's proven he can go in there with Wallin, who's no good, and he can go in there and bowl someone over like Ngannou. What happens when AJ gets hit on the top of his head again? That's the question. It might be the case that AJ can go in there now and just keep popping everyone and they'll fall over. Fair play to him if that's the case. But them shots I see him doing with Ben Davison, it looks good on the pads, right? He's like sucking his waist in and banging his hook off. I just don't think you're going to get off against Usyk. You could barely... AJ, when he fought Usyk, was throwing his tippy-tappy things. You could barely get them off with him. He was getting popped in between them. So I don't know how you think you're going to do what you did against Ngannou, suck down and ping it off and swing your back all around the place. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah? So it looks good against Ngannou, who's stiff, can't box. Very effective. Against Usyk, though, you get your head pinged about the place. That's the truth. That's what I think happened to you. And you deserve it. Yeah, so whilst logically I'm backing AJ to beat Dubois, I'll be more than happy to see his ass get knocked out. Because this was whack. Yeah? This was whack. No grown man wants to steal a belt. Email champion looking ass. This is the character of the individual. Ultimately, people don't change, yeah? All that kind of hippie, all that kind of, oh man, I'm so humble, team humble. There's nothing humble about losing to a man twice and then refusing to fight unless you steal his property. There's nothing humble about that. That is the antithesis of humble. That is greedy El Shekel. That's what that one is. Not even greedy, it's just devious and wow, unbelievable. Like boxing and sport in general is supposed to be purely meritocratic. You keep what you kill, right? Usyk killed Fury, AJ, Dubois. If anything, yeah, when I look at the heavyweight division, I've gone through and I slag off Wilder's resume. I slag off Fury's resume. I slag off AJ's resume. Usyk's actually the guy who's taken out all the kingpins. Yeah, that's the facts of the situation. Usyk's the only guy, yeah, and he did that at cruiserweight as well. And yes, cruiserweight wasn't as pound for poundish as heavyweight is. Doesn't have the glamour, but nonetheless, Usyk comes up to heavyweight, yeah. He's taken out all the time. I say to you, man, what young hungry killers has AJ taken out? You can't name none. You literally can't. Dillian White was not a world level killer when he took him out. Who else is there? He lost to Ruiz. He lost to Usyk. Vlad, 50 years old. Whereas you look at Usyk, took Dubois out, took Fury out, took AJ out. Oops. There's 3 prime athletes, top level guys. Usyk's taken out. AJ, he lost to Ruiz, he lost to Usyk. People forget about Joe Parker. The Joe Parker that thought AJ was broken, he didn't want to win, he didn't want to be there. That's what happened. Yeah? He wasn't there to fight. So forget about that. Fury, who's he beat? Wilder, basketball player. Forget about that as well, with due respect, in my opinion. Dillian White, no good. So, here we are. Now the last thing I will say is, on the note of Usyk blessing his sons with the opportunity to fight for his belt, I also think strategically there's a psychological element here. Yeah, Usyk is running a psyop on Tyson Fury. What do I mean by a psyop on Tyson Fury? Well, guess what? This means Usyk really hasn't lost nothing. If anything, this just entrenches the value of his undisputedness. Because he's undisputed now. It's a bit like Crawford beating Errol Spence and then he's stripped. No one don't care about Ennis. Forget about Ennis. Who's Ennis beat? No one. Forget about him. No one's interested until he does something. Yeah? No one's interested. So, Usyk gets stripped of a belt, yeah, but at the end of the day, he's undisputed still. Everyone knows it. So even if Fury beats Usyk in the rematch, Usyk's still undisputed forever, and Fury isn't. Fury then has to go on to beat, well, he'd need to beat Usyk again in a third fight for sure, and then beat the winner of AJ Dubois to become undisputed. So it enshrines, it creates a barrier to entry for the undisputed club, which is a smart move from Usyk's position. He hasn't lost nothing now. Would he prefer to be undisputed? Why not? But ultimately, if he really plans on going back to cruiserweight, then it doesn't make a scrap of difference to him. I hope he doesn't know, because I think cruiserweight is crap. But maybe that's why he wants to go down there, because cruiserweight for Usyk, yeah, he could literally, in about a year, he could fight Opataya, Billum Smith, whoever else you want in there, or whatever bums there are down there, yeah, he could fight them in back-to-back camps. Yeah? I think Ali did about a month. Now, I'm not saying Opataya's not like people Brady showed. Brady showed, yeah, Opataya ain't like that. Forget about Opataya. Opataya, he does all the talking, yeah, really hard. You get in there with Brady, this 40-year-old man, and he was running for his life in them last round. So Opataya ain't got it like that. Forget about Opataya, he's all hype. And Usyk would ping him around the place, for sure. Guaranteed. That's one, people say I critique Usyk, yeah, but I'm telling you now, at the cruiserweight division. The only reason I have biases against Usyk is because I think that size should matter. I think that Inoue he could never go up there and do something with Crawford. Could never. That's how I have to believe that's the case. So but at his weight, them bums at cruiserweight, Chris Bill Smith wouldn't win a round. He'd only win a round if Usyk wanted to just do nothing. Chris Bill Smith would he'd keep trying to clinch and he'd just get pinged around the place. Yeah, he's irritating me, Chris Bill Smith. Yeah, always trying to fake. Oh, he's trying to hold me. No, Chris, you love holding too. Chris Bill Smith love to hold. He'd get pinged around the place. Jay Patar, he don't really want to fight. He'd get pinged around the place. And Usyk clean the whole division up. Usyk can become undisputed, yeah, in a year flat if he wanted to. He'd take no damage either. He would take zip damage. Oh, Patar can't even damage Bradis. 40-year-old Bradis. Can't do it. Yeah? Chris Bill Smith can't even damage, what's his name? Richard Hugball. Come on. He'd do nothing. He'd do absolutely zip all. So, yeah, this is somewhat beneficial for Usyk's vision. It certainly doesn't hurt him. Even if he lost to Fury, he could go back down there. I don't think he would, though. I really do hope he beat Fury ass. And he should do. The odds have got it that way. So, yeah, anyway. You can see some more of the verbiage here from Usyk. The IBF belt is my present for you, my 2 children. Yeah? The world loves strong. I believe this means the world loves bodybuilders. So this for me is a kind of like a slight. I don't know what the backing was here. It does. I've been saying, and Eddie Hearn's been saying, as we know, everything's political. Yeah, Eddie Hearn put the call into the IBF. Maybe even Turkey put the call in for the IBF. Turkey, he loves the bulls. Right, this is the bottom line, people. He wants big bulls. Do you understand? That's what Usyk's exposing, essentially, the G4P industry in Saudi. The G4P. Do you understand, people? Repeating the lines. G4P industry in Saudi. And he's saying, hey man, they love the strong. They love the big bull. Because how are you going to rob my belt? And it must have had, because I said this already. I said, yeah, Turkey, he runs things, right? And if Turkey really loved the sport, he'd say, listen, AJ, you big useless crybaby bodybuilder who cried after getting punched up and didn't want to fight. That's what pissed me off about AJ, yeah? AJ had 12 rounds to fight. He did nothing. He was in there, ooh, Usyk, give it to you like you stole something. In round 9, you had half a go, and then you got punched up for the next 3 rounds. 10, 11, 12. So the point is, you had your time. You had 36 minutes to do something and be angry. Then after you lose, you all bent out of shape. That's whack. That is the character of a man, yeah, who can then, ooh, let's rob this belt. Because Turkey clearly has biases towards AJ. Because if I was Turkey, I'd say, listen, AJ, if you're desperate on fighting for his belt, a man who beat you twice, you can take your little ass back to Sky pay-per-view or whatever Moody pay-per-view you're doing and go and fight for that Moody belt. But on my show, you 2 bulls, B-level bulls, you 2 bare bums in the shower bulls, are going to fight for no belt because you ain't earned it. The man beat your ass, both of you cats. Back to back, literally. He beat AJ ass and went on to Dubois. Usyk had to go on AJ twice and then spun it onto the next one, the next bodybuilder. Hey, 100%. Yeah? Alexander Usyk be making them big old bulls backside pop. That's what happens. So if I was Turkey, that could never happen. There could be no show with my name on it, yeah, that's stealing a man's belt who just had a phenomenal fight and beat the man who beat the man since John L. Sullivan. So I am disappointed in Turkey for backing this, ultimately, and this does imply to me there is an agenda. We know that Turkey didn't really like Usyk or preferred Fury for some reason. And it appears to me that Turkey also prefers, even now Usyk's done it all, Turkey still prefers AJ, right? That's the bottom line here. There's no other way you can spin it. There's no other way you can spin this, that Turkey doesn't have biases towards AJ. This is wrong for the sport. Bottom line. Eddie Hearn's a rat. Team AJ are rats. Team Dubois, I mean, they're doing what they're doing. I'd like to hear from Dubois, though. It's not likely, is it? But they might as well at this point. You're fighting for the belt anyway, so I'd like to see an ideological stance from Team Dubois. I'd like to see Dubois say, hey man, I wasn't really fussed about this belt. Usyk beat me 9 months, and I'm happy to take it from him. I'd rather take this belt spark from Usyk. You know what I mean? I'd rather be, in 9 months' time, I'd rather have been standing over his lifeless corpse and held the belt above his, you know what I mean? Above his lifeless body. That's what I prefer to hear. Is he going to say that? Probably not. He's probably going to do the whole corporate whatever. Oh man, it's a great opportunity, but that's whack. That's not the truth. Yeah, the truth is, people, no man with self-respect can have a belt like this. This wasn't the case. People call Devin Haney an email champion. I never really believed it. Why? Because, to be fair to Devin was trying to fight the best. That's what the evidence shows. Devin would have fought. Devin's fought everyone. Devin wanted to fight Tank. Devin did fight Loma. Devin did fight Kambosos. Devin did fight Ryan Garcia. So Devin actually doesn't have a history of ducking people. So Devin Haney isn't an email champion. Many things he is, yeah, but he's not an email champion. But these cats here, categorically, are email champions. The winner of AJ and Dubois is the textbook, what do they call it? The textbook case of email champion. The man is in your division. He has a fight scheduled to replay the Undisputed fight, and what is the psychology of an individual who believes you should have the belt over a man who took it from you / just beat the man who beat the man? He just unified the belts. He literally just unified the belts. What's AJ done, people? Picture this, yeah? Usyk just beat Tyson Fury. What's AJ done? He beat a mixed martial arts / bodybuilder in Ngannou. Oh my God. So you're telling me AJ deserves a belt after beating a mixed martial arts fighter who's 0-1 in boxing over Alexander Usyk, who just beat the man who beat the man, not a man born from his mother. Yeah. Again, Dubois has more of a claim, if I'm honest. Dubois has more of a claim to that belt than AJ does. That's the God's honest truth. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe. Let off the bell, no doubt about it. Stop it.